Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Dave Yachter coming to you live from the Yachter Family Studios. Happy Saturday and also a happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there. This episode is number 4. We're going to talk about the good and the bad when it comes to the pros and cons of anti-aging and detox. And in this episode, we're going to talk about, pretty much the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the reason why this is important is because, it's important to know everything before you decide to make a commitment and get into something. You don't want to waste your time or your money. So let's talk about the cons first. When it comes to anti-aging or detoxification program, obviously there's a time commitment. Whatever you start, you want to see through and make sure you stay on top of it. And there are things, when you get into a particular detoxification process or protocol, that you have to stay on top of. Sometimes you have to schedule things. And then sometimes on top of that, we may have a financial commitment, depending on what resources or products that are necessary to keep up with the protocol that you engage in. So these are all considerations if you get into something and it requires some sort of process or time commitment. That's something that needs to be considered, whether or not your health is important enough or it's the right time to do that. I would say also another thing to consider is what happens when you go through something in particular like a detoxification program, because if toxins are lurking deep within the cells of your body, your liver, let's say, for example, especially your brain cells, and this is a process that's been building up for many, many years. Those harmful toxins have been sequestered to some degree. In other words, your body has hidden them away. And now all of a sudden you're going through a process or a protocol where these toxins are being pushed out of the cells and into the mainstream. And then your body becomes aware of it. And then as a result of that, sometimes you'll have an immune response. There could be inflammation or a healing response. Your body will perceive it as some sort of issue that it needs to address. And as your body addresses that, it sometimes is not the most comfortable thing. Sometimes you feel, tired. Sometimes there's fatigue. In other words, it's almost like, when your body's fighting something off. So when you go through some of these processes during a detoxification program, it's not common for everybody, but it does happen sometimes. And sometimes that's something that you just have to go through to get all that bad stuff out. Because if it stays in there, especially deep down in those cells, it affects the DNA. And those toxins are turning on bad genes for cancer, cancer promoting genes, heart disease promoting genes, obesity genes. A lot of times people can't lose weight. They can't get rid of the fat because when you're toxic, your body protects your body with fat, and toxins have an affinity for fat. They have an affinity for the thyroid. So, unfortunately, at some point, I always recommend that this has to be addressed. All I'm saying is that sometimes it's not always a walk in the park. It's not the worst thing in the world. I've been through it several times. I could tell you from my own experience. It's you have good days, and then sometimes you have days where your body's really working hard to get that junk out. It's very dangerous and it's very serious, and it needs to come out. And once it does come out, once all those toxins do come out, you by all means, black and white, no question about it, you do feel younger. You sleep better. You don't need as much sleep. You wake rested. Your eyes are brighter and clearer. Your skin looks better. So when I say you look and feel, like a good 10 years younger, it's because all that bad stuff is coming out. And now your cells and your body and your brain are firing on all cylinders. And that's kind of, I guess, really the pros. In my opinion, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. And again, I can only speak from experience. I've done this, several times. It's definitely worth the work that you put into it. It's not a whole lot of work, but it's something that requires time and it requires a commitment. And it's something that, we take very seriously at our office because we see toxins really destroying people's health at many different levels. And once you get on the other side of this, like I said, you look better, you sleep better, you feel better, you have more energy. You are preventing. You're being proactive in terms of preventing the disease process, especially Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, cancer, a lot of neurodegenerative diseases. You're being proactive with that, especially if that runs in your family. But these days, the numbers are higher than ever. So, I say all that to say this. You're going to learn about how to do this at the Anti-Aging and Detox Workshop. It's coming up Monday, May 17th at 6 o'clock. If you want to learn more about how you can do this or learn more about what the options are and how something like this works, whether or not it's right for you, you'll learn all this and a whole lot more. It's going to be an amazing event, a life-changing event. We always get an overwhelming feedback on it. So I want to invite you to register now using the link in the description box. Also, you can call our office using the number in the banner below. And look forward to seeing you there. I love and appreciate you. Thank you for joining me today. God bless.